Hi all, Happy New Year. Lee Varis here with Phototech Tuesday. Each week I'll be posting a new video about photography, technology, art, and more. Today we're prepping for our Venice Carnival photo adventure, and I thought I'd share a kind of anatomy of a photo shoot, behind the scenes look at one of the shoots we always plan for at Carnival. We make arrangements with several of the best costumers to have a private photo shoot with our participants in an outstanding location. The shoot I'll examine today is our light painting shoot early in the morning in St. Mark's Square. To start, let's take a look at some of the many shoots from years past, and then we'll examine last year's shoot in detail. Okay, let's get going here. So this is sort of the general idea. This particular year, I used sparklers, just lit them up and waved them around behind our costumers in front of St. Mark's Basilica here. The idea is that the costumers are standing kind of in the shadow, and we're lighting them from the front with a flash, and then long exposure. We keep the shutter open, and I go running around behind them, waving these lights around to create this sort of light painting image. And everybody, all the participants sort of line up and are photographing basically the same scene. I have to do this multiple times, paint a lot, maybe add things together later in order to pull this off. But this is the idea that we're going for. One of the first years that we did this, I brought a pixel stick, which is a special LED light that paints a bitmap image into the scene. And so I have images of fire that I can paint into the scene during a 10-second exposure. Flash freezes the subject from the front, and then for 10 seconds I wave the light around behind the subject. And what's cool is that you get, because it's an actual physical light that we're projecting in, I'm not compositing flames in, all the reflections play out perfectly on the ground, and they interact with the subject, so it's really pretty cool. And everybody gets this shot. We all aim our cameras at this, and everybody gets the shot. It's another year, different costumers. Again, the fire, because these people had a sort of fire costumes, and I thought it was really appropriate. We also did a little variation on it where I sort of painted in this stream of flames coming out of the flames that they were holding in their hands. Another year, a different location in the same general area, but we're sort of along the side or the back of the basilica. And this one was to kind of evoke this feeling of demons in the background. Again, this is sort of a light painting trick. Yeah, we also used the flames here as well. So I'll just show you that as the light was coming up, we get a little more ambient exposure in the background, so you can see the building a little bit better. Another location, again, in St. Mark's Square, and again, this is before the sun comes up, so it's really early in the morning. It's always pretty deserted, and we can create these light painting things because we can always find a place where the subject is in the shade. They have to be shadowed. There can be lights behind them, but not lighting them. So that way we can light from the front with a flash and then do the long exposure light painting behind them. And here's another one looking at the basilica from the front. This one's a little more involved, and I'll give you a quick rundown on kind of how this stuff gets created, and then we'll look at the one that we did last year. So the idea here, here's our image. The final image is actually put together in Photoshop, and I have several shots that come together to make this happen. Let's take a look at this really big here. So here's the finished shot, and this is actually the result of several passes with the light. Very often what we'll do is we'll do one with the flash from the front, and then I wave this, these were light painting brushes, and I was kind of waving it behind them. But then we would do several more passes without lighting, because this makes it easier later on when we blend it all together. I'm not worried about the front light on the subject. So I'll take several pictures like this and then later composite them together to create the final effect. This is from last year, and this is one of the exposures, and you'll see there's several going on here. I'll take several exposures with different colored lights and different passes, and you can kind of see now here the light is not going off in the front, so they're not perfectly lit with the flash. And again, I'm just doing multiple passes with these light painting tools, because in order to get enough of an effect behind them, I needed several passes to blend together. And so we'll take a look at this. Again, multiple passes, and in the end, we blend it all together and I create this. Now, this is sort of not trivial. It's a little bit of Photoshop work, so let's take a look at that. So here in Photoshop, this is the result of all these layers, right? So let's go through this layer by layer. I'll go down to the bottom layer. So this was I kind of liked this as the basis for all of the other exposures. And we're going to add something on top to add more light. Now, this layer, as you can see here, this layer is in lighten mode. So lighten mode is only adding the things that are lighter. But you can see here in the layer mask, let me solo that for you. The layer mask, I'm just trying to paint in the light where I want it. So I'm trying to keep it off the subject here, because that subject was also lit. If I disable this layer mask and we take a look at this, you can kind of see, if I put this in normal, this is what the normal exposure was. So the problem is that the figures are moving a little bit in between exposures. So I want to keep this base exposure as clean for the figures, and then just add the light in using lighten mode. If I go to lighten, the problem now is, and if I don't mask it, I'm going to have a little bit of double exposure. See over in here? The two exposures are blending together. So by putting the mask in, now I am seeing clear to the bottom, and I don't have the additional double exposure effect going on there. All right, so let's take a look at the rest of these. And all of these now are adding in lighten mode from an exposure where the figures were darker. So I don't have to worry so much about masking off the figures, because only the lighter elements, like these light elements, will be added on top of the existing picture as soon as I change the blend mode from normal to lighten. Okay, so we build them up. We're building up these exposures. Some of them I have to mask off. So you can see the masking that I'm doing here, just to keep the light off the figures. Build it up, build it up, build it up. After all this, I kind of felt like the background was too light. I'd like the background behind the figures to be darker. And one of the little tricks that I often do is I look at the luminosity values of the individual channels. So if we look at this, there's the red channel, there's the green channel, and the blue channel basically has the darkest background, but a bit lighter in the sky. So what I'll do is I'll place that green channel image or the blue channel image right here, this image. I'll place it, and I'm using a curve to further modify it. I'll place it in luminosity mode through a mask. So if I'll highlight the mask, you kind of see this is the figures are now isolated. They're masked off, and I'm just affecting the background. But I'm grabbing the blue channel from this overall image, and when I place it in luminosity mode, it darkens down everything except where I've masked off the figures. And that luminosity trick is it's pretty cool because it keeps some of that blue color, because I'm using the blue channel here, keeps the blue color, and allows me to darken down this background pretty effectively. And then the final trick is to take this background even further back. I'm going to use a color balance to make it cooler. All right, so this is a color balance adjustment, and I'm just making the midtones a little more blue, a little cooler, and that's causing that background to recede more into the distance. All right. Well, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and hopefully this has provided some inspiration for your own creative explorations. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell so you don't miss another Phototech Tuesday. And I'll see you next time. Before we go, I just wanted to mention that you might consider joining us for a travel adventure. Check out our trips and in-person workshops at our website, bobbyandleesphotoadventures.com. Our Venice Carnival photo adventure is nearly full, with time running out to sign up. We're leaving, we do this February 23rd through March 2nd. So yes, time is running out. Our next photo adventure will be our street shooting tour of the ethnically diverse neighborhoods of New York, and that's June 1st through 6th. Our last photo adventure for the coming year will be an amazing once-in-a-lifetime India for beginners, a first-class luxury tour including the Taj Mahal, glamping tiger safari, and Pushkar Camel Festival, and that's October 17th through 29th. Check out the website for more info, and remember to sign up for our email list. Scan the QR code to sign up, and thanks for watching. I'll look forward to seeing you on our next adventure. Oh, and Happy New Year again. We're still in January. I get to say Happy New Year for a while. All right, bye-bye for now.